Why, hello, and welcome to episode 22 of the Aussie Roll Call podcast. In this episode, Kate and I had the pleasure of interviewing Gemma Driscoll, better known across the interwebs as GeeofDee. You might know her as host of ABC's Good Game Spawn Point. Kate and I spoke to Gem about her experiences with TTRPGs, forays into the world of being a game master, and what she has learnt about herself and the world through the magic of TTRPGs. In news, we have lots of new and exciting game drops, and a cool new convention is coming to the Gold Coast. Now, both Gem and Kate sound great in this episode, and they do the majority of the talking, but I, however, do not sound great. I blame the fact that I was recording in a different location, and I think my computer was picking up the wrong microphone. But have no fear, I speak a maximum of like 10 times in the interview, and never for very long. Anywho, without further ado, let's jump into the interview with GeeofDee now.
Welcome back to the Aussie Roll Call podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have our interviewee with us today. She is not only someone who I get to hang out with less than I would like, but more than a lot of people do, but she is somebody who loves games of all kind, of the video and of the tabletop. I think I'm going to leave her to introduce herself. Lovely guest of ours today. Can I get you to introduce yourself to us and those who are listening?
Hello, my name is Gemma Driscoll, also known as GeeofDee on the interwebs. I'm an Australian TV presenter, internet gremlin by night and day, and just super happy to be here. I was trying to think of ways, like video games of all sorts. I was like, video, tabletop. What are the other ones? Surely there's other ones.
Other ones that aren't necessary for this podcast.
Get it out. We're not elitist, but we'll be elitist here. Get out of here. Be gone, foul beasts.
Games of the mind, of the soul, of the silly ones we play with friends.
Oh, you're so right, though.
Of the ones that we lose whether we like it or not.
Hey, you got 45 minutes with me, baby. Let's go. Let's see how deep we can dig this well.
I was just trying really hard not to annoy a bunch of viewers by saying that they just lost the game, but here we are. I've done it now. It's too late. It's too late.
Like it's 2009 again.
All right. Well, gee, I know and have followed along with your adventures in the terms of tabletop because of a rather large program run by a mutual friend of ours known as Castleton. Do you want to talk to us a bit about getting involved in that? Because that was a not small project.
No, it was not. And I played a mere fraction of its encompassing stardom. So Castleton, for those who maybe don't know, was a massive long-form TTRPG series started by the incredible AJ Winters from Winter's Tales that encompassed this, I think it was like something like 120, 130 TTRPG players from across the world. A small fraction of those being our lovely Chaos Gremlins here in Australia. We made sure those sessions were exceptionally rowdy, coming together to fight the forces of evil, entropy, and flirtation. And it was an incredible, wonderful project. I played Liar Lark, who was a... We can cuss on this show, right?
We'll use the appropriate bleep sounds if necessary.
She's a bit of a I'll be for real. She's a bit of a cow. My darling Liar was my first foray into playing a character that is canonically, according to her character sheet, neutral evil. She is just not a good person by any means, but she is so incredibly fun to play. And I played her alongside my spiritual brother, if not my real life one, Hamish, who played Artie Lark as well. And we were a dynamic twin duo who sadly was separated quite early in the game. But it was incredible. Oh my God. I went to places mentally that I don't think I've gotten to in like traditional acting standards. It was amazing. I think I cried more. I think Liar had maybe 5 sessions. I ended up crying for at least 4 of those.
Yeah. I mean, look, if anyone tries to tell you that TTRPGs don't make you feel things, I will call them a liar.
Oh, you're a dirty liar. I'm going to make you cry in real life. It's closer to a threat. I'm built like a marshmallow. There's nothing. I'm built non-threatening. That's my standard. But no, it was an incredible project to be a part of. And it was just so awe-inspiring to see both how the story is woven in real time, but also how these seemingly so many different people, so many different walks of life can come together and patchwork this story and the characters that fill it out of such one-line decisions or, in the moment split thinking, and turn it into this epic saga. And it was a real love letter to just the spirit of the game of D&D, which I could wax poetic about this to the end of time. It was so much fun, and I truly do treasure every moment I got to be in Castleton because it was incredible. I loved it.
Well, we've we've hit the big one out the gate. But what about TTRPGs for you in general? Had you played much before Castleton, or was Castleton your, oh my gosh, I'm jumping in the deep end and holy hell, what am I doing? Where did TTRPGs fall for you?
Castleton was definitely the bigger production scale of TTRPG games that I've kind of jumped into. I really saying TTRPG games is going against how that works, but hey, come for me. Let's go. Let's throw it down in the realm of literature and words. I am a serial avoider of campaigns. Generally speaking, I am a one-shot girly. I come in, I throw a grenade into the room, and then I leave. And that is where I've decided that I thrive best, in short bursts. So naturally, how I got started through it was kind of off the cuff. I got invited into a charity game, I think, I want to say Jasper's Game Day.
Jasper's Game Week, I think.
Yeah, Jasper's Game Week, which was, I want to say maybe 2019, 2020, I got asked. And I did one, and I had so much fun, and I met so many cool people just in that one session. People that I still talk to today, which is incredible. I actually messaged one this morning. And from there, it was sort of like, oh man, like I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. I'd played maybe half a session with some friends of mine to impress a girl that I liked at the time. I made a Triton character, I think it was a Triton, who had thalassophobia, which really was a bit of I wanted a real story to cling to here. I really wanted something to fall back on if I couldn't do combat, which I guess what, I couldn't. So I had like that bit of exposure. So jumping into, a streamed game where, money is on the line there for, you want to do a good performance, people that are donating to such a worthy cause, was kind of like raising that bar to another level. And I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of a pressure that I kind of mess with. This is kind of great. This is cool. Like, I think my first character was like a barbarian. That didn't change for several sessions after that because I just fell in love with the character of barbarian. Don't need to think too much. No math, just hit. Great. Awesome. Love it. No spell slots? Wonderful, darling. Please. Delicious. And then from there, I was just kind of jumping into more one-shots periodically. And then I kind of gathered some more friends in the community, and there was invited into kind of small one-offs for their home games. There's like a villain character or a one-off or a quest giver. And that was awesome. That then got me kind of into LARPing for a hot minute there. And then it just sort of picked up that I made friends and kind of developed a little bit of a reputation as kind of a loose cannon character builder that would just sort of, she couldn't really play D&D well, but my God, could she role play? And that was kind of what I hung myself on there for a little while. And yeah, it kind of hasn't stopped. I love it. I love it so much.
I'm laughing because I have played in a one-shot with you where you played with Hamish, very, we'll say chaotic, high society socialites.
Fun fact about that, those were the prototype characters that we based Lyra and Artie off of.
Well,
they were the original template. We had so much fun playing as the bully aristocrat twin duo that we were like, let's do that again, but worse.
Oh my God. As the straight man against the two of you, that was fun.
Yeah, that was history, baby. That was history. That was how Lyra and Artie Lark were born, by being awful in another campaign.
Not awful, just challenge. But like it was great. It's great, and I can say that like there are lots of different types of players, and I think we all need a chaotic energy player at the table, or 2 or 7.
But no, I love it. I'm trying to learn. My thing now is learning how not only to role play for, yes anding, but also to role play with like a character. Because I'm in real life a massive pushover. I am such a people pleaser. I'm learning how not to be. But one thing I'm learning to do through D&D is learning how to handle conflict resolution and also confrontation, because it's a very safe environment for me to do that, where it's like, this is not me necessarily, and this is not the person that I'm, feuding with necessarily, but it's a good way for me to learn how to stick to my guns as a character while also argue my point, and also to admit when I'm wrong and know how to kind of have those conversations in a game setting that I then take into the real world, which is such a cool thing for a game to be able to teach you how to do, is how to talk to people and not cry.
The skills that no one realizes that they need from a tabletop role-playing game.
Truly.
Communication and de-escalation tactics.
Absolutely, because de-escalation goes a mile when one of you has fireball. When you're really going to talk someone off the ledge, that is casting fireball in an enclosed space. De-escalation tactics work wonders.
Yeah.
I haven't romanced Gale in Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm sure I'll get around to it.
Eventually, at some point, maybe. Depends on how many runs you want to do.
If I ever finish that game.
That's so true. And a little birdie tells me that you are trepidatiously stepping beyond just character fun times.
Oh my God, yes. So long have I heard the plights of my beautiful DM friends that are the forever DMs that never get to play in a game. And here I am with so much knowledge about a particular game with nothing to do with it besides talk about the internet, which is Mass Effect. For those who don't know, an incredible sci-fi RPG series. It's my all-time favorite. I live by it, I die by it. I've almost made it my brand. Oopsie daisy. And there is an unofficial TTRPG package that is available, that is made by a bunch of creative people that I'm trying very hard to learn so I can run my own Mass Effect story, because I've run out of fan fiction. I have to start making it myself, which is how I've pitched this to my team.
Yep.
That's the sign of a true fan, if not an addict.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, I've burnt through AO3. I need more material, and the only way I'm going to do it is if I farm it out for my friends for content. So I'm trying, but I've never DM'd before. I've never done it before. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm trying to learn, because not only when you're a player, I had enough trouble learning my own character sheet. I have to now know everyone else's character sheets and every other character that I make in here. Also, accent work. Terrifying. Trying to distinguish which character is which, horrible. Can't do it. Need a list. Need a very long list. So I'm learning how to do that, and I have never had such appreciation for those of us out there, and by us I mean everyone that's not me, who has done DMing, because this is really hard. And I'm terrified to let my players down. But I also just want to learn so much. It's kind of like this ongoing, every time I think I've cracked something, I find three more holes to trip over that I then must fill with knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, that carried weight.
Just thinking about the sentiment of all the holes that you fall into. I mean, we do it as players as well as to as DMs, and half the times the holes we don't know are there until the player steps out of the way, and you go, yes, I left a gap for you. Shoot, it's there, isn't it?
Yeah, so much of it is again, it's part of those skills you don't. I'm not sure if you're actively aware they're happening, they're developing while you're playing, but it's that thing of and not only is it improv, it's also knowing the pieces in your head that you have, maybe not seeing the full picture yet, because you don't want to, I don't want to, it depends if it's the one shot or a long form campaign. I don't want to railroad my players into, well, this is a story I made and you're going to walk down this path and you're going to bloody like it. Get in the cart, let's go. But I also want to have a bit of guideline for myself so that I don't end up, as I have done before, asking the DM a million questions about a random space because they kind of made an inflection when they talked about the bookcase, when they were describing the room. And there I am 40 minutes later being like, no, I want history check. What's up with these pages? What's the bookcase made out of? Where's the hidden... They just said it a bit weird, and I really focused on that. So I want to have that room for my players to be exploring the world, because I love this world so much, and I want to talk about it, and I want them to learn about it. But I also want to have that idea of, okay, they've spent 45 minutes on the Presidium. We need to get out of here. The Reapers are coming. They're on a schedule, and we are 3 hours into this session.
I mean, part of me says sometimes your players just have to get caught by the Reapers, to be honest.
You're right. I should just nuke them.
Like,
good call, man.
You've got a time.
I'll drop them.
One of my favorite pieces of advice by a DM that we have both had before was give them a clock, and you've got to do this whole thing in this amount of clock time. It's a real clock. Off you go.
It's nice to be on the side of the anxiety. It's the anxiety giver, not the anxiety giveth. But yeah, so those interesting kind of skills of like knowing where your puzzle pieces are and where, but having them at soft edges enough that they can fall into place wherever you need them to go, which I think is a real skill, and it's something that I deeply admire about the DMs that I've worked with. They've all had this incredible ability to take the chaos and chisel the edges just enough to be able to fit where it needs to go without ever sacrificing the core, which I love. I think that's a phenomenal skill to be able to have, and one that I am very slowly trying to build. But yeah, it's just always so much reading. I get so bored while just doing the reading part of this, even though I love the world so much. I'm like, oh yeah, all right then. History, yeah, cool. Okay, that was the First Contact War. How's that going to link into this thing? Oh my god, I've got it. I love those moments of like, oh, that's that puzzle piece I was missing. Yes, I figured it out. Can't wait for my players to completely ignore it.
The truism that is the players who ignore the blatantly obvious thing you've just given them.
Sometimes it's me. We did learn through a few sessions that I'm very bad at puzzles that don't have a visual component to it. If I can't physically see what needs to be done, I can't do it. Anything with math involved either? Oh, not happening, baby.
Do you have like favorite things about playing a TTRPG other than sort of the discovery side? Are you sort of said that you're not really a combat girly. You're a, like, I want to talk it out and figure it out. Are there other aspects of it that you like more than others?
In terms of like playing, I think the thing I admire so much about TTRPGs is that while I do not necessarily possess the part of the brain that can visualize things, I do feel a special, I think I get attached very easily because without being able to visualize stuff, I kind of have to thematically link it to things that I'm familiar with, that grow attachment for me. And that's a really fun exploration exercise in my mind. I love TTRPGs because there's no safety net, but you do feel so comforted by the idea that there is no wrong way to do something. Like in a standard video game, like again, we can't really, it's apples and oranges. It's two completely different mediums, but there is a right and a wrong way to do things. In TTRPG space, there is a right and a wrong way, but those right and wrong ways can be kind of mitigated and filed down and worked with, and they can be malleable, and that can be a conversation between you and your DM and your other players. I love TTRPGs because there really is no ceiling for success, and there is no pit for failure. It is just out there in the ether, and it's up to you guys to kind of make do with what you've got and make the most out of it. I think that's such a beautiful thing that a game can evoke from you, is that sense of wonder and curiosity without limitations. I think that's phenomenal. Like two people can you can explain a world to me, a setting, and two people have completely different interpretations of what that looks like. The core might be the same, but what that means is completely individual. And I think that's just a phenomenal thing to be able to try and wrap your head around, is that we're in this world together, but how we see it is so vastly different. And no other, like, that's theater of the mind at that point. Like, nothing else can capture that imagination like that. And nothing will ever live up to that, because it's ever changing with, your life experience, with your passions, your interests, your disinterests. Like, it's all so individual. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. I'm so flowery language today. I'm really just waxing poetic.
Ode to TTRPGs, and I'm like,
oh,
yep.
I just love it. Just mwah.
You've sort of alluded to it in that you talked about the fact that you're a bit, not nervous, but like worried about the gaps in lore and gaps in information when stepping into DMing. You've got two people on this podcast who have DM'd in vastly different capacities, very little and very much. I mean, I almost want to say, what are the things you're worried about? Help us allay your concerns, G. Use the resource in front of you, because I'm sure there are people listening who are in the same boat going, oh, I want to DM, but I don't know how, and I'm really worried about this.
Well, since you asked so nicely, let me lay myself upon your feet, my humble DM masters. I think my biggest concern is not being able to keep up with my players. I think I worry about leaving them in a lurch, or kind of leaving that silence that kind of shatters the immersion of a world, when it's like, you're really into it and you've got something going on and I can't quite keep up with what's happening, or I don't have the next thing planned for you. And it kind of, in my mind, I feel this need to be perfect in that, like, this has to be the grand illusion that this is a completely solid, real world that you are stepping into. And it's my job to keep that upright. It's my job to keep that going with, like, characters that are interesting and storylines and things to do and things to see. And I think a big part of it, like, as you know, these conversations always come up in TTRPG spaces, is there is a level of holding yourself to the standard that the quote unquote big names in TTRPG have set. I do feel, even though I strongly stand by that every player and every DM and every person is unique and different, and we shouldn't be holding these people to these lofty standards that even they can't reach half the time, because no one should have to. I do feel this need to be like, I just want to be the best. And I want to be on that level, and I'm just not. And that's the awful thing about anxiety and fear, is that it stops you from even trying. So you're guaranteed to never hit that because you never actually go ahead and do it. Yeah, how do you deal with, I guess my question to you is, how do you deal with that fear of your players seeing through the world? Like, how do you allay that concern?
I mean, I just let them, to be honest. Like,
look at it.
But quite literally, if I feel like they're doing something and they want to keep going, I'll just be like, cool. So what is it? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Put it back. This is a collaborative storytelling game. Like, no matter which game you're picking up, it's collaborative. What do you want to do? Oh, we want to go shopping. Okay. All you have to think of then is a canonically fine shop and a cute shopkeeper to give them some form of whatever you actually wanted them to go and do in the first place. Or, oh, we want to go and, go to the temple and investigate this thing a bit more. Cool. That's all I need to know, is what they want to do next. And I can work with that. And we just put them on a little bit of traveling music for a minute and they can have a little chat while I frantically figure out what goes next, right? The power of, it's everyone. It's not all on you.
I think you've got to have some amount of trust in your players that they want to be there. They're invested. They've bought into the world. So they are putting in effort the same as you. Possibly not the same amount in terms of like preparation, but they're there and they're putting in that effort to understand or try and be in the world that you are creating for them. One thing that I do when I feel like players are sort of like getting ahead of me or getting sort of going in a direction that I wasn't expecting is I'll just ask them questions. Not sometimes as direct as Kate was, which is like, what do you want to do? Like, come on guys, what are we actually doing here? But sometimes I'll be like, so how does your character feel about this? Or what are you thinking about this situation here? And sort of like drawing out some of those inner thoughts in order to not only like buy myself some more time. Some of it is stalling. It's like, describe for me this while I'm
Tell me in detail what this is doing. Oh my God, Google it.
But, while that's happening, also being like, that gives me more information to work with and can sort of like help propel the story forward, possibly in ways that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, like trusting your players, they're in good faith.
We've really cracked into my issues of trust. I see, Doctor, you're right. I often feel abandonment, and it makes it hard to trust people. I see. Thank you.
I think, I'm a bit like you, G, that I'm a bit of a perfectionist by nature in terms of projects that I work on. And so I think for me as well, I do a lot of one-shots. So the reason I can be that direct is I'm just like, no, like I have a rough square, there's going to be this combat and this and this. So it's just getting this little piece that is the players to hit one of the things that I've put on the table in front of them. And so you can build up by starting with a couple of one-shots and then going to campaign rather than starting big, because it'll give you the sense of like, okay, what are these players like? How do these players operate? Because then you'll keep up with them because you know the kinds of choices they're potentially likely to make. And the other thing is, if you're trying to do it in a world that already exists, like you're talking about with Mass Effect, that's your version of Mass Effect that you're playing in. It's not a canon recorded for all time, watermarked by appropriate copyright things.
EA is outside the window with the laser rifle on. If you mess with our IP, I'm putting right between the eyes, Gem. You're going down.
But that's just it, right? Like, this is not an IP that you're playing in. You're not being paid mega bucks to deliberately play something that is deliberately canon. Everyone's favorite is different to everyone else's because
True.
That's what happens in game. There are some core things that are the same, but we don't know the name of every single shop in Mass Effect.
It's true, I don't. I've tried. I've done the quizzes.
But you also don't need to, right? Like, that's the beauty of it.
I guess that's it. Yeah, it is that the ever-present need for perfectionism is often the killer of joy. And so often in everything that is the case. But no. Thank you, my lofty DMs for your advice and your help. I guess I'm gonna turn this around on you real quick. I'm gonna flip this interview. I'm gonna get both of you in this one. What is about DMing that you enjoy so much? Because I'm learning from a player perspective first. Very not familiar with necessarily the core rules of D&D, but very much I've played homebrews and we messed around with Rule of Cool. What is it that excites you both about DMing?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much.
You go first, Stevie, because you've been DMing a lot longer than I have, and I don't DM a lot.
I have. I've been a professional DM for like over 6 years now. So the thing I like about it is I really like creating a world where people can play in it and following the player's fun. So like I might have ideas of like broadly what the story might be, but it's not until I put it in front of the players that they sort of like make choices and I go, well, that's interesting, and then I follow their fun. And I really enjoy like creating things that like make players excited, just like when they're getting, like if you put something down on the table and like, oh my God, you made a mini for that, or you've made this really cool map for this, or, when something cool happens in game, just those moments I thrive on. It also means that I don't get bored. I have a problem when I'm a player is that I can struggle to stay engaged, whereas being a DM, there's always something happening, and that really tickles my ADHD. I'm just like, there are lots of things going on, and I there's too many things, but it means that there's like never a dull moment. That's why I love DMing. Possibly it might stem from a control issue, but we won't go there.
Sit upon the therapy chair, Stevie. Let's think of that some more. What about you, Kate?
I weirdly had never played much D&D when I started DMing. I think I DM'd my second session I was ever involved in a TTRPG. And that's in part because a friend of mine, I got into TTRPGs through COVID, despite being involved with people who were into TTRPGs before that. It's like I never played until that point because I just moved back to the West Coast from Sydney, and then COVID happened and everything was shut down and I couldn't do improv because that's what I was doing at the time. And still do. And so because I come from an improv background, that world building part of it was what I was really drawn to. And that's why I do a lot of one-shots, is I was doing games with people who'd never played before, played very little before, who just wanted to have a go. And that was a really lovely thing to just be like, cool, what do you guys want to do? Let's make something up together. And I'll put the rails on so that you don't feel like everything's too much and too hard and too many things to do. Let's keep you on the rails. Let's give you a couple of fun things to do, and we'll just have fun for a few hours, which is very different than running a campaign. And I fully acknowledge that, like, I'm not a campaign DM. I am a one-shot DM, mostly because I prefer playing in a campaign, but I prefer I like one-shots. I'm a bit like you, G, that like one-shots are my happy place because I just get to do all the big dumb things. In fact, I think probably 2 or 3 shots are my like really happy place. Do something with the character, bring it back, do it a couple more times, and then like we'll move on to someone else.
Yeah, have an arc. There's a little arc you can make there out of a three shotter.
I was supposed to do a one-shot with a stream channel for their actual play, and it ended up being a 2-shot because I didn't die fast enough. Whoops. And so
Kate,
I died.
We've talked about this. We've got to keep to the schedule.
I died in the second session and got. We described it as getting Lady and the Tramped by 2 mind flayers.
Did you
think the spaghetti scene?
No, I'm just trying to wonder where the other one was going.
Well, just both, like 2 mind flayers at the same time.
Right. Yes, yeah. Sorry.
I got Lady. As in, I'm the spaghetti in this description, not that I'm one of the mind flayers.
Right.
Yeah.
I was thinking about an achievement in Baldur's Gate. Unrelated. Never mind.
No, not the same achievement as in Baldur's Gate. No.
Never mind.
But like,
that's so weird. Let's close my fanfiction tabs real quick. Get them out of there.
But that's the kind of thing, right? Like it's that stupid, like, go in and swing big, but it's the same with DMing. It's like, cool, what's something really fun I can do for my friends every so often? And then...
It also really depends on the game too. Some games are really loose in their form, and are really collaborative. So there's an Australian-made game called Good Society, which is a Jane Austen-based RPG, and it is super loose. The GM is more of a facilitator, and you sort of co-create the world together, sort of co-create the boundaries, and then you sort of set up all these scandals and these relationships and stuff, and then it just kind of writes itself, and the facilitator has to do barely anything. So there are games out there that are far more... It just really depends on what sort of fun you want to have as a GM.
Yeah.
I mean, the one I'm looking forward to running, which I actually happen to have within arm's reach, is Scarlet's song.
Oh, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the Darling the Angel, yes.
The Darling Angel. I have the Darling Angel's TTRPG in my hot little hands right now.
Beautiful.
We interviewed Scarlet a while ago. Cottagecore Critters, I got my hands on a copy. I may have ordered it immediately after that interview. Shush, it's fine. And it's got no combat. So I have some friends and I'm like, that is exactly the game I'm going to play one shot in for them, because they're not combat girlies. They are 100%, I want to play a cute little critter in a cute little town, living their life and dealing with some problems. And so I'm like,
yeah,
that's the game for them.
Yeah, I remember I have this thing in my head where I'm like, I have to because I'm a casual player of TTRPGs. The primary one is usually D&D for me, but then my whole world was opened up from engaging in the community to all these different kinds of tabletop role playing games, and one that immediately sticks out is by formerly Feral Games, who did The Crowned, which is a game that I played in a live stream for Pixies and Pins ages ago now. I think it was, I want to say last year. Time is an illusion, which dealt with the idea of essentially deities existing in a mundane deity world. So instead of you had powers, but you were the god of something. And it could be anything. One of our players was the god of hair. The other one, I was the god of RGBs. So my entire existence revolved around my character owned a nightclub, and as the god of RPGs, we expanded my kind of spell list to include a manipulation of light fields. So RGBs was her speciality, but she also did some your usual roasting and toasting with the laser. And it was this incredible, and I honestly, I loved it so much. I struggled a bit with trying to adjust my expectations and what I'd come to know from only playing D&D and trying to fit that rule set into this new system I was being given, when really it is all about embracing the existing rules of the game and putting what picking what that's going to be useful, but discarding what isn't. Because it's a completely new game, a completely new set of rules, and you have to be open to kind of throwing your weight around and making some mistakes, which was hard for me because I really wanted to know everything that was happening all at once. But it was incredible, and I'm forever so grateful to the players and the wonderful Pieces and Pins that that run the game for us, because it was so much fun. But it was a real learning experience in letting go of perfectionism and being okay with not knowing what to do all the time, and kind of having that trust in your DM and your other players to kind of back you up where you might feel like you're lacking, which was, it was beautiful. It was such a fun game. Granted, I think we caused some pretty hectic destruction on that entire place, but it was warranted. They had it coming.
So Gem, next time you're worried about DMing, I want you to take the last 30 seconds of you speaking just then and replay it back, because it was perfect.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
allergic.
Just gonna be here, G, this little bit where you talked about this.
About letting go of perfectionism and trusting your players.
Just a reminder.
Yeah.
No, the rule is it's everyone's advice except for mine. No.
Okay, so I will find
the exception to the rule.
So Stevie, just send me the recording and I'll transcribe it and then I'll say it out loud so that G can have it immediately back.
I'll be oh, that's so poetic. You're so right.
Yeah, there we go.
God, I'm a genius when spoken through someone else's mouth.
Oh, look, I'm just sitting here.
You're entirely right.
I'm sitting here being I want to see G play. I'm sure you've played. Have you played Thirsty Sword Lesbians?
I had played Thirsty. No, I didn't. I didn't because I was sick for that recording. No, but I wanted to.
Yeah. Have you played Eat the Reich?
I have, with the lovely, incredible Ellen. Ran a game for us where what was my character? I think I was just like a really overtly sexual, like, Nazi hunter who like just flirted with everybody, but also like had no idea what the hell she was. Oh, that's right. I played the freaky little guy. I played a freaky little guy. Yeah, I played the freaky bat guy. Looked like it got like toxic waste dumped on it, and I was like, hell yeah, this one unhinged, crackpot energy, flirt with everything. Let's go.
I'm just going to send a picture of what that looks like to Stevie so that you know what the creepy little guy looks like, because I think you'll understand why we're both laughing so hard.
I need you to know, when Ellen sent me the rule book and was like, guys, pick your characters. And I was like, that's that one. And I had took people to go, oh, that's Jem's character. That's gonna be GeeofDee's character right there. That's for you. And I was like, oh, is it the cooked little expression? Is it that this is chaos incarnate? Wonderful. I'll take it. My brand is established.
It reminds me of that character from Ferntree Gully, the bat.
Yes. I'll be real, I hadn't seen Ferntree Gully. I watched it prior to playing that game because I wanted to know if I needed to start imitating anything a little stronger. And you know what? I think I pulled the character's energy in.
Yeah, you can add it. You got it. And my only other suggestion to you was get your Stranger Things on and play something like Kids on Bikes.
I love Kids on Bikes. I've discovered I really like playing popular kind of cow characters. I really enjoy playing like the stereotypical like popular girl character who's just a real, like, she's just a real tough egg, just absolutely so horrible on the outset with one close friend, but she's got a heart of gold in there somewhere. She just kind of sucks. I think all of my Kids on Bikes characters have been that to varying degrees, except like the one jock character I played who I think died pretty quickly. From memory. But no, I love Kids on Bikes. It's so much fun.
I tend to play the nerd because I will willingly let people shove me in a locker because I think it's funny. No, but like, because there's other stuff that my brain will do and like is useful from the nerd character perspective. But then I'm also like, no, put me in the locker. Why? Because then I can slam the locker open on people or like do weird other cook shit.
Were you with me in that one with the werewolves? Like,
the
Australian one?
Yes.
It was like an Aussie set one, and you were inside a locker, and you pushed the door out and hit a werewolf thing in the face.
Or I stabbed it
and
out
then we Molotov cocktailed it.
Oh God, I do not remember that game at all, but yes,
Good
probably.
times.
But that's the kind of stuff, and this is kind of what I think we kind of have come back to, both in terms of talking about DMing and as players. It's like, we all want to play different. It's the same game. We all have different perspectives. We're all going to shove me in a locker. Why? Just put me in the locker. It'll all make sense in a minute.
No, guys, I'm holding my action. It's going to be great.
Give me the steak and put me in the locker and I'll stab the vampire or whatever. Like,
that's actually kind of not to segue us, that was actually something that I another life lesson that I'm learning through D&D is I often have trouble thinking multiple steps ahead when it revolves around other people also participating in a thing. I can think about my moves, but I'm very bad at being able to predict or make room for what other people are going to be doing. Which means that when I want to do a big spectacle moment, it often means it falls flat on its face because I haven't taken in consideration that other people have magic missile, or that other people are doing other things, or that, hey, actually I didn't read my armor class right and I'm going to get killed. And what I'm learning to try and do is, as much as, as kind of soul crushing a little bit as it is when you have a big moment planned and it kind of either falls flat because of, a bad dice roll or just mistimed opportunities or calculations that aren't quite right. Trying to then make that a role play moment or make that still enjoyable in some way so as not to bring down the group is such a skill. And I'm slowly learning how to like make those defeats feel just as valuable as the victories. You know what I mean? And that's been a time in itself because I think part of the perfectionist thing is wanting to be seen to be doing good in something, but doing it well. And we don't do it well. It feels bad on the inside. You feel like maybe you failed something and that feels not great. But learning how to celebrate that in its own way and make that as much part of a narrative as a win would be has been such an interesting lesson I'm trying to take into the real world as well, which is, again, like, God, how many games can do this, man? What a cool thing that games can teach you is humility.
Well, if you won all the time, there'd be no character growth, so...
Exactly. If everyone's winning, who's really winning?
But also, how boring is it to just be able to be like, I'm going to be great at everything? Like, then what?
How dull. How very dull.
Boring. It's boring.
It is. But there's a way to do it, I think, that feels...
And...
Yeah, it feels earned. It doesn't feel like you're giving up on something. It feels like this is just a part of the story. This is another beat on the drum.
I was playing in a session for Dungeons and Doctorates on the weekend, and I absolutely fail rolled about 20 rolls in a row.
Ooh.
And then but then, like, just at the clutch moment, my dice were like, "You can have good luck now," and I'm like, "Thank you so much." Yes, I sucked up until now,
gift.
but right now, cool. I'm doing cool things now. This is much better than about 20 minutes ago when everything was awful.
Rewarding. How thematically rewarding to see that
really
defeat rise in victory.
But it really was. It was me sitting there being like, I don't know anything. This is really awkward. My character's awkward anyway, and would have been awkward in that situation. I'm like, okay, dice, fine. You're giving me what I want, but also like, come on, man. One insight check. That's all I need.
That clutch kind of stuff. It was a thing, again, I just think about Castleton, where there was spoilers for Castleton, where my character kind of beseeched her patron to make her a Dampier. And that was a big kind of moment for her because it was kind of the culmination of all her bloodthirsty and power-hungry tendencies being like, I'm going to risk death for the possibility of becoming a lot more powerful than I currently am because I got my butt handed to me and it was embarrassing. And I didn't know this at the time, but AJ said, okay, roll a D100. I got a 2, and I was like, well, I'm dead. I'm going to die. And it was like, that was actually the 10% I needed because if I'd gotten anything over 10, I would have died. Like, Laia would have been gone. And I was like, man, in the moment, that was so devastating to see that too. And then to find out that the stakes were that high, it was like, how thematically rewarding.
Sometimes the dice giveth.
Sometimes the dice giveth. They may taketh away my patience, but sometimes they giveth me life.
Yeah, sometimes they giveth us a problem that we then have to deal with later down the track. So, all right.
Thank you, dice.
Much as I know we could rabbit on for literal hours, the three of us giving each other hype speeches about how we're all excellent and wonderful and can really do the thing. I've got 5 really fast questions to ask you at the end of this.
Oh, God damn it, they didn't say there'd be a quiz.
It's a quiz, but there's only really ever been one wrong answer in the history of this. I don't know. Right. It's fine. It's fine. It's one wrong answer, and it was an Emmy Award winner who made that mistake. So that's all good. We're all in good faith. So we are going to do our fast 5. You don't have to explain them. You can if you want to, but we're just going to nail through them. It's not a big deal. You got this.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
Number 1, what is the best gaming table snack? What are you snacking on while you're TTRPGing? What is yours?
Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Flamin' Hot bloody Cheetos. Just nom nom. Get in my tum.
See? There you go. Done. Do you have a favourite dice, be that both dice shape or dice set?
Yes, my favorite dice is the D12. Don't ask me why it's the D12. It's just the smoothness of it. It doesn't have those sharp edges that a D4 would, but it's not as lofty as the D20. It's kind of like the in-between. It's the middleman's dice.
It's also the barbarian dice.
It's also maybe the barbarian dice that I've used more times than any other dice.
Sorry.
I wasn't going to say it, but thank you so much.
I also play a barbarian. It's fine. Like Sue's like. I can probably guess, but what would if you had a brand new baby player who'd never played a TTRPG before, what game would you introduce them to?
Oh man, I mean, I feel like a good one is, and I'm gonna feel awful because I don't remember the name of it. It's about cats.
Oh, Magical Kitties Save the Day.
Yeah. It's nice and simple, and it's easy to understand, and there's very few ways to cock it up, and it's just fun, and it's quite role play heavy, which I think is a good way to kind of get you invested.
I love that game. I love that game so much. I played it at PAX last year. You've got dice. You've got your game, you've got your snacks. What's your other tabletop must-have? What do you have to have with you playing a TTRPG?
Ooh, I am a chronic fiddler. I need things to be. Where is my? Oh my gosh! Where's it gone? Oh, this is going to haunt me. Where's it gone? I have a 3D printed cube that I have usually on my desk. I think it's in my living room because I was working out there earlier. And I flick it. It's 3D and you can like fling it inside and out and around. I will usually, if one hand is like here and my shoulder is moving, it's because I'm flinging this stupid little thing around and tapping the table with it. I need something to be fussing with that can't be the dice because they don't like it when I start getting handsy. So I need to have something that's in my other hand to just like, if it's an eraser, I'm ripping that bad boy apart. So it's got to be something that can't be broken.
Yep. All right. And last question, and possibly the most important. If you could have a companion, a little minion animal, a robot, like a familiar in D&D, what do you want? What's your little guy?
Oh, okay. So I know the owlbear is like the common one. It's like for a good reason. Okay, stereotype exists for a reason. Owlbears are cute as heck. I really, really want that cooked little imp from Baldur's Gate 3. I want Shovel. I want Shovel from Baldur's Gate 3. I want that little creep so bad. Because it's such a monster and I love it so much. That I want the creepy little imp. I want Shovel.
And if that doesn't...
Big Natural's Withers. If Big Natural's Withers can be like distilled into a companion, I will take that.
Oh my god, if that doesn't sum up the chaos energy that you said that you bring to a table, I don't know what does.
I know what I'm about, okay? I know what I'm about, cooked little guys.
Oh my gosh. Well, Gee, it's come to the end of our recording, but firstly, is there anything that you'd like to plug or tell the people about where they can find you to talk about cooked little weird guys on the internet?
Oh man, hey, if this hasn't put you off me and you're curious to find out how deep the rabbit hole goes, you can find me at GeeofDee all across the internet. That's GeeofDee. There's a couple more E's for Twitch. I'll let you figure out where they go. You can catch me there on YouTube, Twitch, Blue Sky. I'm all over the internet just talking about cooked little guys that I love.
Oh, thanks so much, G. And thank you so much for giving up some of your time, precious as it is, to talk to us.
Pleasure. You know what I'm going to be doing after this? Playing more Baldur's Gate. We're good.
Oh my goodness, I have so much great game news to bring you in this particular episode. The first one is submitted by Jake Holmes, who has written a one-page letter tile spellcasting TTRPG called Spells, and that is with a Z. They have just popped it up on their website and it is completely free. It's a game that's made for one-shots and short adventures full of hijinks and creative spellcasting. There's no dice, no individual spell rules, no spell slots, just the letters you draw and the words you can make. So if you're a fan of Scrabble tiles and spelling cool words, I will put the link to Jake's game in the show notes. In upcoming event news, a new fantasy and science fiction convention is coming to the Gold Coast. This is called FantasyCon, and they are currently looking for exhibitors, and they are calling all fantasy and sci-fi authors, artists, makers, and retailers. FantasyCon is happening on the 13th to the 14th of December, 2025, at the Southport Community Centre from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. So whether you craft magical worlds with words, and that also means TTRPGs, create stunning sci-fi art, design fantastical products, or sell treasures fans will love, this is your chance to connect with readers, collectors, and fellow creators. So I will put a link to that form if you are keen to be an exhibitor at FantasyCon, and hopefully we'll have more news about the convention the closer it gets to the date. In more game news, Glenn Watkins of Every Trick Books is putting out Bruno Barleybeard's Big Book of Brewing. This is as it says on the cover, a big book of brewing. If you've wanted to know how to make magical beer in your 5e world, this is going to be the supplement for you. There are expanded rules for using brewer's supplies to make magical beer, 50 beer recipes, 3 brand new brewing-themed subclasses, and so much more. There's even an adventure that's set in a brewery. As I approach my 40s, I'm definitely going to lean into that dad vibe, and I think this supplement might be right up my alley. I'll put a link to the Kickstarter project. It's coming soon, and if you put in your email address, as per usual, Kickstarter will notify you when that particular supplement is ready to be backed. In more game news, Road Rage is a game where you play as a convoy of savage, supercharged animal humanoids, each one burning with the rage of the road, racing and rampaging across an endless, toxic wasteland. In Road Rage, you and your friends will craft a collaborative story of insane action, impossible stunts, and ultra-violence, with a hint of the fantastically otherworldly. This has been developed by Daggerwood Games, and you can back it on BackerKit. I'll put a link to where you can find out more information about that on the show notes. And finally, in news, this is the Muttering Obelisk, which is an OSR adventure module by Crispy Chicken. The Muttering Obelisk is their first foray into low-prep, high-imagination adventure design, ideal for one-shots or as a mysterious detour in an ongoing campaign. It includes an open-ended scenario, adventure hooks, never-before-seen monsters, travel hazards, and a mysterious Jabberoo in a jaunty top hat. Written with both group and solo play in mind, and easily adaptable to TTRPGs such as Knave, Can, OSR retro clones, and homebrew games. I'll put a link to that module in the show notes. And that is all I have for news in this episode.
Some people have been asking us what the best thing they can do is to support the podcast. And honestly, it's rating and reviewing it wherever you're listening to it. It really does help us reach brand new audiences and other listeners just like you. TTRPGs are for everybody, and we want to reach as many people as possible. No matter where you're from, we want you to be part of the discussion, part of the roll call here at Aussie Roll Call.
This podcast is produced in affiliation with the Australian roleplay community. If you'd like to join the ARC community, head to arcrpg.org, where you'll find a link to our vibrant and inclusive Discord server. Your hosts have been Kate O'Sullivan, Dan Machuca, and Stevie Schaefer. Cover art by Helen Graham of Juimon Studios. Title music is Sweet Sunday Groove by Slailkey. Interstitial music is Newer Wave by Kevin MacLeod, used under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. Production by Stevie Schaefer.